Hello and welcome to another Positive Future for Health podcast. And here we have the wonderful Sabina who knows all about animal healing. Where did we meet? Well, we're actually in a business group and we were practicing business things and talking business. And so Sabina is communicates with animals really and heals animals. So of course I brought that into the conversation and she found out a lot about my cat. Which was a problem I didn't know I had. And I brought in the example of my cat because she's an animal healer, and we talked about my cat, about what her behavior, and I thought, gosh, I think I've got a cat animal problem. I didn't even think it was a thing. So Sabina sorted it out, and what was happening is my cat was wrecking my house. She thinks she's the boss around here, and these unruly humans don't do what they're told. She was wrecking my house and fed up with us all, probably. Now she's not. She's not wrecking the house. She's feeding well. She's a lot calmer. She looks at me now and again and says, "Come on, get up, feed me." She still bosses me about, but she doesn't wreck my house anymore. And I didn't even know I had the problem. I wasn't even thinking about it. So that was absolutely amazing. And Sabina's got so many amazing stories to tell you. Yeah, Sabina, why do you do this? Tell us all about yourself. You just want to unmute there. Tell us
Okay.
all about yourself. What got you into all of this? Who are you?
Well, that's an interesting question, and it took me a while to come to this part. And everything started that I was looking for a job a few years ago, quite some years ago, and it needed to be online due of my living situation, but then at the same time it should to be something very fulfilling. So I did a lot of jobs before, so it was, quite a challenge to bring this together. And I decided to join a meditation program. This was a long year meditation teaching, especially for women, and I dedicated it to, okay, I want to find what I want to do later. And I didn't expect it to find actually even in this program. And to be honest, I was not really positive that I can connect all my needs to find a job. And so in this program, there also were some different podcasts, and we were introduced to the emotion code. And this was exactly immediately I felt this is it what I want to do. I never had any
Oh,
experience with energy
that's
healing before, never had.
amazing.
So there was
Amazing.
this
The
kind of,
thing.
yeah, I
Mm.
have it. And then the other side, well, that's pretty strange. That's for me, so I had
Mm.
some to figure it out. However, so I read the book, I jumped into the certification, and I always said, keep it down. Maybe it's not for you, don't exaggerate. And then I experienced the first reeling where I could just not neglect that it is working. I mean, I had really a shift on myself. So I was, it seems to work.
Mm.
It seems I can do it. And then a bit later, then you start also to work on other people and the same, don't exaggerate. It takes time, don't be disappointed.
Oh,
Boom, I had really a quite intense reaction on the other person on the other side. And then I thought, well, the stuff is really working. So basically I stayed there. So this one was a few years ago. And so I went on. And now when it comes to the animals, so at the beginning, I started to work on everyone, on person, on animal. And I always loved to work on animals. And I always had this kind of, I prefer to work on cats and dogs, but I never felt it, it always was there. And basically, it were my healer friends who I have now, they always say, you should focus on animals. You should focus on animals. They gave me their animals to heal on. And then I
you're
said, you know
getting pushed
what?
that way.
Let's
It's
just,
all
let's
happening.
just do it. And now I'm, on this animal healing path.
Wonderful. And can you tell us, so you started the emotion code on people then? On people?
Well, the certification is on people and animals. So it was
Ah,
already included. And that's why I
ah,
never had these special, I always loved immediately to work on animals, but I never had this, it was always there, that's why it
yeah,
was difficult to figure out that this one is really my path
yeah.
to go. So
Ah. And then so then you kind of got into it. You pushed all your friends' animals are pushed onto you. Heal me this and heal
Yeah.
that. And how did it go? What was your first experiences? Do you have a memorable experience?
Oh,
What
I
happened?
have a very memorable experience from my first, let's say, official client after my certification with the emotion code. And she had a dog about 12 years old, very reactive and, barking, getting crazy. So she had problems to handle this dog. And this, I have to say, so the dog, she knew where it come from, from a breeder. They knew it, so there was nothing strange. So the family, from all what I knew, they really knew how to handle the dog. He really grew up with all the love, but how you grow up, how you treat the dogs. And she was even aware, like she was a bit afraid, yeah, maybe it's actually me. She also was already aware of the connection between animal and people. So, and what I found on this dog were a lot of inherited trapped emotion. So I think
Mm,
we released about 9 or 10, and maybe 7 or 8 were inherited
yeah.
trapped emotion. And the point is, his behavior changed immediately after one session. I mean, she
Wow.
said she could handle this dog. He still is barking, but the dog is allowed to bark. There was nothing serious about. But she said, he barks once or twice and then he calms down, and not like before where it took her minutes to calm down sometimes the dog. And
Yeah.
this was, I found really, yeah, impressing too.
Must be She must have been thrilled because if you've got a problem with an animal, of course, like children, you get worried and is it you? Is it them? Do I need to do this? And
And it's
trying to figure it
stressful.
out.
It's just stresses you. As she said, okay, we live on the countryside, but still it's difficult to go out, just to make a walk with your dog. If you're constantly afraid there's another dog coming and maybe your dog is running away, maybe being aggressive. So I think there was a lot of stress in it. And of course, lots of
Yeah.
people you don't feel well if your animal don't feel well.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
reflective, isn't it? So talk us through what do you do? So people, what sort of things do people come to you for? How do they know that you're the right person for them? What symptoms or so this
So
is an aggressive dog?
yeah, aggressive dog, or like your cat who's eating, overeating and destroying the house, all kind of
Me.
she did it, not
Absolutely,
anymore, but
but
like
that's me.
some but also with some chronic health issues, or sometimes I remember it's actually last year they contacted me because they thought the dog has skin issues, allergies. They gave him a lot, they got all the best food for this dog, a lot of supplements. And what turned, because he was scratching. I mean, he looked really bad when I saw this dog. And it turned out it was a lot, just was stress. The dog was stretching because he had a lot of stress in it, and he changed. And they said, he will the fur on the side will never grow back. And the last picture I saw, it came back, the fur. So there was a lot
Mm,
of improvement in in this
amazing.
dog. Yeah.
And talk us through, because I went through a healing session for my cat with you,
Mhm.
and can you just share for the watchers, everybody here too, what do you do?
What do I do? So
What do we do?
I use two modalities. They're called emotion code and body code. And what I do is I connect with the pet. I have a system. I can find out what are the underlying, um, let's say, energetic imbalance contributing to the issue, whatever it is. And then I also can release it. And yeah, for your cat, so I use the emotion code modality because, as human beings, also animals, they have trapped emotions. They don't process emotions. They get stuck in the body, and then they contribute to emotional or to behavioral issues in animals, but also sometimes to health issues.
I find it so helpful because I mean I just sort of opened my doors to you and then you just got on with it and I didn't even realize we just got on with it and I was open to it. So I found it very helpful because when you sent back the information in the email
Mm.
saying what you'd found on in my cat energetically, it made complete sense. And
Mhm.
you said things like, I can't remember exactly, but things like, I don't know, abandonment from the
Uh,
mother and distress from
yes.
the father and aggression from the mother, and things like this, things from the hereditary from
Yes.
her parents.
Yeah.
And I know the mother of the cat, my cat, but that's about it. But of course, like all sentient beings, like humans, we all have ancestry and effects and past lives or
Exact.
whatever. And I found it so useful because I said to my, because I've got two kids with me here, so we live three of us here. And I told the kids, look, she feels abandoned by, I can't remember what you said exactly, but
Yeah.
she feels abandoned by her mother. So can you pay lots of attention to her? So she had three people paying extra attention to her. And it was almost like she was like, oh, this is nice. What's going on here? And because I had that knowledge of her energetic layers
Yeah.
experience, I felt empowered because I could do something that was going to help her. And of
Hmm.
course, we talked about the food, and the food was all wrong. I didn't realize the food wasn't right for them, for my two cats. And that was part of her crazy behavior. So
Hmm.
it was just so helpful. And my house is intact. She kept going up to my jewelry, and my jewelry will go down. I had to hunt for earbacks and earrings and was crazy. It was crazy. I thought, well, I've got to lock every door or something, and
Yeah.
all that stopped. So it's been incredible turnaround. Tell us some more stories. What sort of things what's been particularly lovely or particularly difficult, or do you
Well, I
find?
think particular lovely is, I mean, what I think for myself is, so I heal the animals, but the owner are healed too, because I see, if the animal is doing fine, or I just had recently the case, so the owner contacted me for the dog, and the dog showed up. She said, she is jealous, and then I always feel, she prefers my husband over me, and there was something. She said, I can handle it, but she was a bit sad. And then she said also, and yeah, and she also has arthritis, but this one actually we can handle quite well. So main point was the jealousy of the dog. And um, this dog changed. Oh, and then there was also a cat who had not really a happy time when the dog was around and someone else. So, and the dog totally changed. And the owner told me, I can feel the dog is open. She can receive my love. The dog is coming to her, even if the cat is around, which before was not the case. So before she tried to chase away the cat, and now
Mm,
they can stay all together and they are all
wow.
happy together. And that I really could feel the owner was so happy about. And what happened too after session one, she said, she wants to go on much longer walks now. And this one continued, this one was not an exception. So we did a few sessions. And after session 3 or 4, she told me, and now she starts to jump again when we go on a walk, what she did before. They changed so much, and everyone is just happy, and she feels so relieved, that the dog feels better and is happier. So,
'Cause that's what happens if one person in the family, and this is in this case a dog, everybody actually gets affected. I didn't realize the sensitivity of that situation. It's really true.
yeah,
And if the dog, if that one person gets better, then everybody gets better. And look at that.
totally.
So
Yeah.
she's feeling the love, and the dog's happier, obviously, and longer walks and all that.
And the cat too, by the way. The
And
cat.
the
I
cat
mean, the
too.
cat is still not really trusting the peace. So,
Mm,
but still, there is more peace in the Sur
more
family.
peace.
And you know
And
what I,
energy.
yeah, just
It's an
notice,
energy, isn't it?
yeah, it's the energy. But sometimes if I go to the park and I see a happy dog, I am happy. This
Yeah.
dog spreads so much positive energy just in being happy and being a dog. Or if you just see a happy cat, whatever a cat does, makes me happy. Whereas, if you see a depressed dog, what I see sometimes too, it's not the same. It's just not the same. So it's
It affects
amazing.
energy, isn't it? It affects
Yeah.
all of us. So where does all this come from? Where's the origins of this technique? These
Oh,
techniques?
so the technique is it's American who developed it. It's quite
Mm.
recent. I think the first book came out maybe 20 years ago, the
Yeah.
emotion code. And then later he developed the body code. So it's really new. It's American Dr. Bradley Nelson who just, who started to make the shifts, and then they developed this modality, which is really easy to use and really direct, then you get
Mhm.
out a lot of information. You don't just know there's okay, something is shifting, but you also know what it is. You know what may have affected your cat. And yeah, that's
Or not, isn't it? I mean, we just happened to meet on business calls,
yeah,
and I didn't, I wasn't even thinking of my cat anytime soon. But because you're an animal, healer, then we brought it into the conversation, and it's changed my world. As we're saying, if one animal is unhappy, then everyone is really.
yeah,
And it's really subtle, isn't it? It's very subtle and sensitive, and you go through all the layers of going through it because you make the arrangement of what's needed for the pet or the
yeah,
person pet, and then you go away and you feel into so you do your method
yeah,
to address what blockages, emotional blockages there are,
yes,
and I sent you, I gave you a picture of her.
yeah. I need a picture from the
Need a
animal.
picture.
Yeah,
And Sabina's going to do this for one person on the call in a moment, so have your picture ready. Um, and um, and then we came to a call, but you said that I didn't even need to be on the call, but I was
yeah,
there because, of course, um, it's perhaps if people are skeptical, they just want to be in the room in on the Zoom call with you when you do it. But you go through the process of it, of release, and then you even offer time if anything comes up between calls. If something happens, say like, oh, say if it was my thing, oh, she's damaged things again. I'm not sure if it's
yeah.
working. Well, you do like an emergency top up.
I
Um,
can do some. So what can happen, what I never had with animals so far, I know it from human beings, but you never know. It's processing is takes energy, and sometimes also, you release a lot and it takes a lot of energy. It's a bit like the whole system can get stuck, and I can reset the whole energetic system. What so far never was needed for an animal. I think they just have it easier to process, but of
yeah,
course, if there's something, I can always release something extra.
yeah. So you do the full works go through the whole energetic system, and then
Yes.
you give guidance and advice. I mean, we talked about the subject of food came up, and I didn't even think, I didn't realize I was not giving the right food, and I was giving the wrong food. And we talked about that, and I took her to the vet, and everything's adjusted, and
Mm.
she's still the boss around here.
That's a cat, that's normal. That's,
Yeah, not my other crazy one, but this one, she's very serious. But she's more chilled and she seems more comfortable, and I
yeah.
think that she's getting the right nutrients now. Um, so if you have any questions, please pop questions in the chat box. Ask Sabina anything. And where do you do this? Is it all on Zoom? Do you do it? Whereabouts are you?
I do everything on Zoom remotely.
Hmm.
So the owner can choose if they want to join me, because sometimes they are interested and sometimes they want to check, was it this event, how I did with the dog. But it's not necessary. I mean, I also can just make an appointment. Important is that the owner knows that at this time I'm working on their dog or on their cat, and that, the dog or cat is with someone who trusts. It's maybe inside, or if they go for a walk, it's on a leash. You never know how the will react. I usually they fall asleep, to be honest. So my dogs and cats, they you don't see it. I had one dog who was a bit agitated.
Mm.
Was very sensitive. It didn't last long, but it's always good to know, especially at the beginning.
And when you started doing the healing, my cat came in, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Mia came in. I said, I can't
she
believe it.
wanted to see, what's going on.
So Sabina, she's coming in. That's on the on the moment, and you're doing the healing bit.
Yeah.
So funny. I mean, as a healer myself, I find that people's cats or my cats come in the healing session. They know this energy. It's what they live, isn't it? It's us crazy humans that don't get off point so many times, but animals don't. Animals live this healing state, don't they?
Yeah.
And and so this is people are very sensitive to their animals and feel things normally, maybe not me, but Usually people are very sensitive to their animals. I remember my mother had a little dog, and my mother was going through a very difficult time at that time. She was divorcing, and her darling little dog, a Yorkshire Terrier, was getting got lumps all over it, and eventually died, poor thing. But lumps all over the its body. I hadn't seen it for months. And when I went to visit, I touched the dog and she had these lumps all over, and I think it must have been cancer or some kind of
Mm.
thing. The cat's on cue. Love it. Yes, cats, we know what's about. You crazy humans. Love it. And um and yeah, I've always felt like my mum was a terrible worrier, and she was, of course, she's going through this difficult time. I felt that she was pouring all her grief and all her loss and all into the animal. I felt that the animal was taking it all on board, her pets. What do you think about that? Is that something you've come across before?
I think it happens too. And I offer something in a way where I do the healing on animals and their owner together.
Oh,
And it's sure it will happen. I think also animals take over our stuff. Um,
I think so. Isn't it?
yeah.
It seems to be. It seems to be that I hear that I've seen some animal communicators online, and it's really possible to. They really do know what we are and how we are. They do understand. They know, and they are very very aware and connected. Um, I mean, I feel like my two cats, they have worked hard to organize us three humans to understand our characteristics and know exactly our buttons to get us moving to go and give them dinner or give them a stroke or whatever it is. And day by day, I see them figuring us out and getting the most from these humans, getting them sort in order, these humans. They're amazing creatures, aren't they, animals, honestly, and
They are just smart.
they're
That's what
smart.
they do. Yeah.
They're
And
smart. I mean,
fun
and
and
fun.
loving, and they're all together. And I think what makes them, I think often what is so fascinating to have them, and people tell me I always had animals and I love them, but I think it's their way to live in the present moment. They are capable, and probably that's why it's so easy, or they take things a lot easier than we do.
It seems
Mm,
to be, and maybe they're here
yeah.
to teach us, I feel. I shall we open it up? Just have a few people on the call, so shall we open it up and
Yeah,
people ask questions? And do you want to wave if you want to share something or communicate with Sabina? Do you want to just give us a wave if you want to
ask a question.
ask a question? Yeah, Brechia.
Hey, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, nice to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't know, because I heard you were gonna do offer healing in
Yes.
this evening. I don't know if
Yeah.
that is already the case right now. Um, because I don't
Um,
want to, I mean, I'm not the only one here. You
I
know,
mean, you
it's
can, so you are interested to
I
do
am for sure
okay.
for my cat, my fur baby. My sweet cat Nelly, she's right next to me actually. She just came in a
Okay.
little while ago.
Oh,
No
hello.
messing with that one.
Sitting there.
Oh,
Yeah, she's waiting for treats. But yeah, she has dust mites allergy.
Okay.
I found that out a year ago after I yeah just noticed her scratching, not severely, but more
Yeah.
than what's normal. And I knew she didn't have any fleas or anything. So I got her tested, blood tests, and she came out with dust mites allergy. And because I don't really trust mainstream healthcare, also not for animals, I went onto the homeopathic path, and
Yeah.
gotten for almost 11 months now. She's on this homeopathic medicine.
Okay.
It's like a solution from a little grain that you have to put in a little bit of, what is it? Spring water, but
Yeah.
not tap water, just bottled water. But it doesn't really seem to do much.
Okay.
This lady told me she's got to have it for 1 whole year, so go through the whole seasons, because could be a bit of a relation to pollen and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still not like she's scratching constantly, but I could see this week that she had these little wounds from it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a cat. You can't tell her like it's itching, but please don't scratch, because otherwise the wounds won't heal. And she seems okay. She's happy. She eats, she drinks, she has good pool. She lies on the ground all happy. She plays. She's affectionate. We have an amazing bond. It's like really special. She is not a lab cat, but she shows her affection towards me in such a sweet way. Every evening she grooms my face. I don't know anybody else that has a cat that does that. The thing is, what I know of her, see, I don't have her since she was born. It's for coming up to 3 years now. She's 7.
Okay.
But I know she has a bit of a trauma past.
Yeah.
She had kittens, 2 kittens, and one died. And logically thinking, I'm like, that must have had an impact on her, as a mother cat, to have one of the kittens dying.
Yeah.
And she had, with the former owners, she had a bit of a nasty experience at the veterinarian.
Mm-hmm.
That just put a needle in her without any caution, and it traumatized her big time. That is quite a bit of an issue for us whenever we do need to go to the veterinarian. So she has her past, but so have I. And I know we reflect each other very much. I have already learned so much from her. And I just was curious, see if you have any thing to say.
I mean, it totally sounds like there are trapped emotions underlying, and maybe other stuff, other imbalances like trauma energy. And it's often like if, medicine and even it's not really working, then there is so a trapped emotion, it's like a ball of energy somewhere stuck in the body.
Yeah.
And if you just think of also the whole body is mainly only energy, and wherever this is stuck in the body, it creates a problem. It disturbs the normal energy, and then it can lead either to behavioral issues, but also to, to physical issues. So that totally sounds like something makes sense to do a session on her. And I don't know how many people want to have a session on their pet now. If not, they just can work on Nelly.
Well, I have a photo already, but as I know, I'm not the only one here. So
yeah, guys, go ahead. Go
yeah.
Okay, so
will I show it?
Yeah,
we might be able to get another session in afterwards to look at the time, but go for it, do.
It's fast, it will not be a full session, but then you also understand how it works.
Yes. Can you see her?
I can see her. Okay, what I do is let me just, so her name is Nelly. You said she's 7 years.
Yeah, coming up
okay,
to
so
8.
I will work on this scratchy issue, this probably allergy, or what was diagnosed as allergy. Okay, so let's just, let me just go in. I'll just check in with her. It takes me just a minute.
Yeah, it'd be great if you can see anything. I'll leave you to it, but just to say to everybody, this is just like an example how it works.
Do I need to keep the photo up, or?
Yeah, just keep it up. Just keep it up, and I just will connect in. So that's Nelly. Oh, she's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Okay, so I have
So this is just a sample of how Sabina works,
Yeah.
because it needs a proper session, really.
Yes.
but I will find, sometimes it helps already. So I have the connection. I always ask also the animal if I'm allowed to work on the animal, and I am. I had already
Yeah.
but I can
Wow.
work on her. And so let's see what I find. So, okay. So you just can, so I just go into to find the emotion. Can you just, I have a grief. The first one is a trapped emotion of grief, which by
Really?
the way, I find a lot in animals. So that's one of the emotions I find a lot. And this grief was before age 5. Yes, was it before age 1? So was it inherited? No, 1. So I have age 2 more or less. That's just rough. So she trapped this, she was grieving about something. And do we need to know more about it now? So I'm just going to release this grief from Nelly. Okay, so this one is gone. Okay, so let's see what else can we find. So by the way, I choose from a list of about 60 different emotions. And then, I choose with muscle testing. So I connect with her and then I choose where the emotion is. I mean, I could share the screen, maybe then it's more clear. Or
Yeah, if
Diane.
you want to. If
Yeah,
I'll
just have to give me the.
yes.
I don't need to put the photo up anymore, I think.
No, it's okay. I think I have it. I have
Yeah.
Nelly in my connection. Okay.
Should be able to do that now.
Yep, now it's possible. And okay, now you should see it. So that's the list I'm choosing. And when I go in, I ask, the trapped emotion, which is associated with this condition we just talked about. And then I ask, is it in column A? So the next one is not in column A, so I know it's in column B. And then I ask for the row.
You said grief, didn't you?
Yeah, but this one I released already, so now I come for the next
All right.
one. So the next one is in B2, and then I just ask, is it number 1? It's number 2. So the next one is a trapped emotion of helplessness. And this one is already inherited. So is this inherited from her mother? No, it's coming from her father's side. And did he also inherit this trapped emotion of helplessness? No. Yes, so I just released this trapped emotion, this emotional energy from her. That takes a bit longer because this one is inherited. And I always check, so did we release this trapped emotion? Yes, we did. Okay, so let's see what's the next, what we can find. So the next one also is in column B. So it's in B5. B5 number 3. What do we have? Terror, which by the way, it's also one of the trapped emotion I find pretty often in animals. Terror, and it's from her. I said before age 5. I have age 5, more or less. I don't know if something comes to your mind. You want me to check?
Is that the age 5? Is that her age?
Yes, more or less.
Yeah, well,
Could be 4,
I
5,
got
6.
her. I got her when she was 5.
Yeah. Actually, it was, it was before you got her, so you
Yeah,
can't know it.
she had that nasty experience at the veterinarian.
Yeah, no,
She
was
had
not.
a no.
It was
And then
something with the owner.
well, the owners, the previous owners, it was it was not such a nice place for her to live
Yeah,
in because he was an alcoholic.
yeah,
The father, it's my sister-in-law's cat, really. So
yeah,
her parents, yeah, they had
yeah,
sold the house and the cat needed to go, and she
yeah,
had heard that I wanted a cat. So then I went over and I clicked with her instantly.
Yeah.
When she was sitting under the table, I looked at her and I know how to, squint the eyes to make them feel comfortable with you,
Yeah.
winking. And she did
Yeah.
that back to me immediately. And I knew it.
Wow.
This is my cat. So she
Yeah.
came with me the next week. And although she came from hell into heaven, she did experience some, I think, transition time because she had
Yeah.
a bladder
But it
infection, which
was
wasn't,
also, can be, from what happened before,
stress, I think.
that it also comes out, once she is
Yeah,
safe.
yeah.
That's also can be. But let's just get rid of this trapped emotion of terror we have.
Yeah.
Okay, so we released it. I've always tested, and let's check if we can release something more. So let's do one more. Okay, so the next one is in column A. It's an A4. Resentment. That can be 2. This one also is inherited. Okay, so it's not her one. And this one is coming from her mother's side. And did her mother also? No, she didn't. So we just can get release of this inherited from her mother, inherited resentment.
Okay.
Okay, so good. So I'm curious. I mean, just check. Hello.
That's
Hey.
Mia.
Oh.
Someone
Yeah.
else wants a healing.
Yeah.
You said it's me.
Oh.
That's my owner who is doing the podcast. You know.
Cutie.
She
So,
said, dinner's late.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So is Nelly still in the room?
no, she already left before we
Okay.
even started. She's just
Yeah.
outside. The birds
Yeah,
are.
that's okay. That's okay. It's
Yeah.
not a problem. And just check a bit what's going on. And if you want, actually, I just can leave my email. Maybe you just
Yeah,
can
please. I would.
in
Yeah.
a few days.
So I just keep an eye on her. What she
Just check
does.
it. Yeah. And if you see, with the scratching, whatever, if you see already something, she may also become more, more close to you. She may jump to your lap now. It can be
I'll
too.
see, hey. But could it be the opposite as well? That it increases first or something, or is there nothing? Yeah.
So with animals, usually I don't have this kind of increasing.
No.
People, yes,
Oh,
animals, usually I don't have this kind of that things are increasing.
Okay, no
Usually it's that,
experience with that.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'll see what she's like. I mean, yeah, it was quite interesting, this, I think. Thank you so,
Well,
so much.
thank you
Yeah,
for
it was,
for
yeah,
showing up. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll
Thank you.
see. And I've got your information, so I quite likely like to stay in contact to see
Yeah,
if
that's
anything else.
happen, show up. Maybe it's getting, or if you may not even see something in the main issue, but something else changes, or you will see.
Yeah. Would I still need to be giving her the medication, although it's not helping, but I haven't finished the whole year
The
yet?
point is, I mean, this one check always with the person who subscribed it.
Yeah.
I don't know
No.
so much. I mentioned that I have this lead magnet where I teach you a simple test. I use muscle testing because I'm trained in it. It's really fast. But there is um, um, a test called the sway test, which is basically like muscle testing. And I have this, my free gift. I teach you the sway test, and with the sway test, you also can check in what's good for your cat. And
Is
just
Oh,
that
to tell you,
can I just say Anna Marie was saying I'm interested in the simple method
yeah,
to connect deeply with your pet that was mentioned. Is that what you meant, Anna Marie? Is this
yeah, I think so.
you want to just come in?
Yeah.
Okay, finally got it. It was just what was mentioned on the Facebook thing. It said that
Yeah.
you were going to share about it. Is that the sway test?
Yes, that's the
Right.
sway test, and also then how to connect to your pet. You know, there are some
Yeah.
steps
Can
extra,
you
and
just
that's
do this one? Because I prefer this to
if
the
you do
sway.
this one, muscle testing, then do muscle testing.
Yeah.
It's faster, but
I
for a
mean, I
lot
do
of
usually do that with him, and then sometimes I douse. But
yeah,
I also think sometimes, like it's very difficult sometimes to get beyond the issues because of you. Does that make sense? You know, as in, I sometimes wonder if whatever it is him reacting to me, or you know. So
it could be too. I
yeah.
mean,
So I
it
sometimes think it's
can,
quite tricky to do
but
dowsing.
you can ask it. I mean, you can ask
Yeah.
dowsing, is it me or
Yeah.
is it you? And
Okay.
do you know, there's one thing what I also teach in this one, and what I found out of personal experience, it's very important. Ask your cat, can I connect with you, or can I
Oh
get
yeah. Yeah.
answers? I always ask.
Yeah.
And I just made the experience I haven't done up from the very beginning, and I've really felt a clear shift. It's easier when I
Yeah.
ask, can I do, can I do the healing? And I had, by the way, already, and this may make a difference, this kind of respecting, do you want to talk to me now or maybe not? They are sometimes busy too. This,
Yeah.
and that I just would suggest you know it already, and to have this extra little step in it when you connect.
Yeah.
Could you walk us through this testing thing that you
Yes.
mean, Sabina?
Yes, so I can do it. I mean, it's actually very easy. We can do it even if we sit. And the idea is, if we have the body reacts to something what is positive to him, what he feels attracted, with a swaying forward, and then to something what is positive and to something what is right. For instance, if you ask in your head, my name is, and then you say your name, and usually you feel already your body is leaning a bit forward. So you have to practice a bit. And you also can ask, I live in, and then wherever you live. And then you also can say, my name is, and then you say another name, what is not your name. And then usually you see your body is, that's not true. So you feel a bit leaning backwards. And then first you have to practice, to feel this in your body. And then you also can try with something what is positive for you, like something like peace, like love, like friendship, something you feel really positive. And then you also feel often, you sway a bit forward. And you also can test, to sway forward if you think of your animal, you really love your animal. And then you also feel your body is moving forward. And then you think of something what is really negative for you. And it might be easier at the beginning to stand up. I found it at the beginning easier. I just stand, I relax, the body is moving a bit. And after a while, you really get a clear movement forward. And by the way, sometimes you feel it, if you're in the supermarket, you want something, you feel like we all have made this reaction already, if something is good, it's easier to move forward, to go in the direction. And if something is bad for us, that we really have this backward movement. And And then I teach you a special step how you can get the answers from your pet. I mean, that's what I do too. And then you ask the question to your pet. And then I came, once you know how to, you have the answers, you're clear in it, then you can connect to your pet. And then you can start to ask, please don't never forget to ask your pet if you can talk to your pet. And then you can ask if this food is good for you. If this food is healthy for you. And I made, I did the testing for the client. It's about a year ago, before I had this lead magnet. And so she gave a lot of supplements to the dog. And I said, just test it to me. And I said, send it to me, what you give, when you give it in the morning, how much you give. And I just test if it's good, or maybe you should take some more or some less. And I had, most of them were quite okay. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, maybe one only in the evening and one only in the morning. So there were some differences, but minor. And then there was one supplement I got a clear no. I mean, really a no. And I don't know anything about supplements. I just tested. And then she also asked me, I give this dog this and this and this meat. And I think, always if he eats this meat, I think he react too. So maybe you can check this too. So I checked the meat, and the answer, he has no problem with the meat. So I just could send the answer I've got. And I said, listen, check the supplement. It seems like there is a problem with it. And then she said, oh, now I understand, because always if I give this meat, I put the supplement on it. So basically it was not the meat the problem, it was the supplement. And that's, it's easy to ask. And, you can do it with Mia too, with your cat. And you even can ask, would you like this food? Because cats can be a bit challenging too. So you can, do you want this one or you want this one for breakfast, and check it
And
out.
Becky asking, is this like biotensor?
I don't know what a biotensor is, but it's something what it's feeling.
Do you want to share, Becky?
Probably it is something, what is reacting to energy.
It is a device that a lot of people use. I haven't myself, but it's being used on me. And it also, when it moves up and down, it's a yes. And when it moves from left to right and right to left, it's a no. So it's something to do with copper.
Yes.
It's like a method
It's
that you
the same, like, even muscle testing. It's something, you have to find out what the answer is. You can use a pendulum, what I used. You can use the sway test to get the answer.
Yeah.
The point is to make sure in your head what the question is. I mean, that's really the most important thing of it, to what do I focus on? What do I want to know?
And you teach this, you can teach this, like, because you've explained it a bit now, but
I have it, basically, I prepared this document where I teach it to you, how easy. So I teach the sway test because I found myself that's the easiest one to learn.
The sway test is the leaning back and
Yes,
forth.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's, I thought it's so nice to have it. Everyone should know it. You can even, once you are, confident in it. So then I teach you how to connect to your pet, because it's not so difficult after all to get the answer. And then you can ask, is this food good for you, or is this not good for you?
But you need to be completely, see, I have a bit of a thinking mind.
You can
to be open to and not,
send it, yes.
Is it 100% reliable? Are you gonna?
You have to practice it, and that's what I also write in my document, is just start with easy stuff at the beginning.
Yes.
So please don't ask at the very beginning, should I go on with this medication or not?
No,
because that's not the right question for the
simple.
beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
Later, when you are more confident and you can play, play with food. Do you would like to have this, or do you prefer this? And then see her reaction. And then after a while you get confident, it takes training, and just, do every day a little bit instead of once a lot. Before you buy something for her, before you buy her a new toy, you check, you're in the store, which one should I get? And then you
Or
can see the reaction.
yeah, or even something like, because I play with her quite a lot, and sometimes when we go upstairs to do this, because I have a bit of a play room there, like an attic, sometimes she hides, and I'm like, it could be a part of playing, because she jumps away from it and as well. So it's like we
Yeah.
have so much fun. But sometimes I'm like, this now also might mean you don't really want to. You're trying to get away. But yeah, we can't talk to each other.
Yeah.
So I've had times that I was like, I would really love to know what she wants or
Wants.
what she thinks. Like, so this you could use this for things like that as
You
well.
could use these things as
That
well.
would be
You just have to
amazing.
be clear at what you are focusing at this moment.
Yeah,
You
the
know, that's
intention.
the
Yeah.
intention behind.
Yeah.
That's it's difficult because my mind is pretty fast too, and sometimes I get the answer and then I just wonder, okay, but what did I ask actually? So I go back and then
All
I have
right.
to focus on.
Okay.
So just be
Yeah.
careful for this, as you told me, but it's possible and it's just a matter of practicing.
Okay.
Don't worry, you practice and it will work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much.
yeah,
That's
you
super
don't need to
interesting.
be anything else. It's just
No.
practicing. And then, of course, it's a matter of trusting, but you will get the trust once you practice. And just
Wow. Okay.
start with easy stuff. Whenever you choose something for her in the shop, just practice how it will work and then see her reaction. And then after a while, you learn to trust.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's already, I think I know her pretty well. There's, sounds that she makes, or the way she sits or looks at
Yeah.
me. I just know what she wants, but not
Good.
100% of the time,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, we after all don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So thank you so much.
Well,
I'm eager to
welcome.
see how this will go.
Me too. Let
Yeah,
me know.
yeah, I will. I will. Thanks.
Wonderful. Do we have any more questions for Sabina? And Sabina, where do people get in contact with you? How do they, if they have some issues with their animal, with their cat? Is it just cats and dogs that you work
I
with?
use also horses.
Oh,
I basically work on all animals. It doesn't
okay.
matter what kind it is, as I anyway connect subconsciously. So there's not, yeah, for whatever animal they want to come for me. I even
Wonderful.
worked on birds on the balcony. So
So what about beautiful, so wild animals, and what
yeah.
about say if you've got rats or something, or you've got fleas. You've got fleas in the house because you've got cats.
Well,
Can you
fleas,
talk can you talk to the fleas? Can you talk to
Really?
I
Oh,
never
sorry.
did this, to be honest.
sorry?
I never talked to any fleas.
Can you tell them to get away and leave my
Probably there
cats
are
alone?
people who can send away the fleas. That's out of my competence. Uh, so
Just more people's pets. People's
it's more
pets.
people, pets, and yes. Also wild pets, but wild, we have
Yeah,
here wild
absolutely.
animals.
I was doing a bird meditation one day. I thought, what shall I meditate on today? And all that week, I was really enjoying wild bird song. So every morning, I
Hmm.
would just open the door and I would just sit there meditating on all the morning birds, and it was lovely. And by the fifth day, this blue tit landed on the door of the sill of the door, and I don't know who was more shocked, me or it. I was like, a wild bird right in my kitchen. I couldn't believe it. And I put it down to that I was just tuning into them all week. I was just tuning in. I guess that a bird just came over and said, "Well, who's this human? What are you doing?" I don't know. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Never happened before or since. And yeah, I think the lines of communication are all there. Was just us crazy humans. We've got to sort of find out how to do it and tune ourselves in. But I think they are already. So Sabina, oh, wonderful. So Sabina, yeah, how do people get in contact? So that you have a website or
So
you
I
have,
have a website. So I just put in the chat, and I just can put in my email address again on the website. There's also you can contact me. If not, you also can send me a direct email. And I also put on the link to this, how you can download the sway test in the chat already.
Wonderful.
If
And
not,
that
it's also on my website. So
the sway
it's
test
easily,
and how to do it, that's free, is it?
that's totally free.
Oh,
And you get
brilliant.
a lot of material, and you get a lot of, this one is created out of my experience, how to connect and how I find it easy to connect with the animal. So this is
Wonderful.
really for everyone. And even if you think you're not intuitive, you can learn it.
Good.
This,
Thank you. And I think I'm intuitive, but animals, I think I'm missing a few language lessons. So that's great to hear that you don't have to be, you can
no,
learn it. And so people would book a free consultation with you to discuss what's the problem with their pet, and then you go forward to look at the plan for the correct
yes,
plan for them.
yeah.
Talk about that. Wonderful. Okay, and yeah, is there anything else you want to? So we've got, so you've been live on the chat. Any other questions for her? What's been your most challenging pets?
Do you ask me or?
Yeah,
Oh, so the most challenging,
yeah,
I don't have a
or
most challenging. It's,
memorable or interesting.
well, I found, as I said, the first one with the most inherited one very interesting.
Mm.
Um, and I mean, I also was really amazed about the dog who suffers from arthritis, that after the first session, we didn't even focus on this physical issue. She started to want to go on longer walks, and it
Yeah,
continued. This one, I was really pleased. Besides all the, the behavioral issues, they changed too, but we also had this, the physical issue changing.
yeah,
And
wonderful.
yeah.
And that would have made that dog happier, isn't it? And then of course everyone around her, the dog,
Especially,
is going to
yes, the
be,
owner, and I say the
yeah,
other cat for sure too, was more relaxed. And I mean, also, I think what you told me about Mia,
yeah.
I'm really happy about this change.
That was brilliant. And Sunny would
Yeah.
like to ask a question.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hi. I'm just wondering whether everything that you've said, sorry, I wasn't here for the beginning, for the most of it. I just tuned in about 20 minutes ago. I'm sitting out in the park doing doing what it feels good.
Fabulous.
And I was just wondering, I I feed a lot of the foxes in the park,
Yes,
and I come, and before I've even parked, I see them. I know they know that I'm on the way. I just know they know. And I'm just wondering if everything that you say about pets, if it also relates to animals in the wild, roaming around like
definitely.
the
Definitely.
foxes do.
They have, I mean, I occasionally work on wild animals. If I see one, I think, this animal need help. I do something. What I just notice is they have, let's say pets, they have a wider range of emotions, of kind of emotions. For instance, what I mean, I find actually pretty interesting. I find a lot of creative insecurity in pets. And at the beginning, I thought, well, that's pretty strange. But then pets adapt to us, to our way of living, to our issues, to our stress we have, and what we think about. And in a way, so then also their body reacts to it. Or what I also I found it again just a few days ago in a dog. First property emotion I found um, indecisiveness. And then at the beginning, I thought that's not true. And I even asked some fellow healers. They also occasionally worked with pets, because I thought, is it only me who find always indecisiveness in pets? And then they checked and they said, no, we have it too. And this is something you would not expect in a pet. because we think, animals are very, instinct. They know what they are doing. They don't struggle to decide or not decide, but it's there. And all these emotion I found a lot less in, let's say, wild animals. So that's maybe the difference. But also wild animals, I mean, they have stress, they have trapped emotions, they have stuff they cannot fully process.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think we've just managed to get in time because your screen's going really funny.
Yeah.
Sabina.
If
I don't know
you
whether
wait,
it's
if you
light
wait
or
a
the
minute, I
screen.
just make a
Ah.
change.
That's okay.
Okay.
We're just going to come to a close anyway. But I think we've just
Yeah.
scraped in there
Yeah.
with a funny screen there. But hello! Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
Lovely.
Is that
what's her
hey?
name?
What's her name? Sahara.
Oh,
Oh my
Saren.
gosh,
Saren.
Sharon.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's a big girl
beautiful.
now, isn't she?
oh,
Beautiful.
thank
I got
you.
her from Althea.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Hey.
Beautiful.
I have to put her out because the other cat hates her.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Communication needed there.
your prerogative.
Oh, wonderful. Our beautiful animals. I remember going away for the very first time away from home for a year. And when I came back, I didn't realize how important pets were. And my mum's little dog came running up to me, all lick, 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 and crazy over me. And it had been really tough year, really sort of getting out there by myself. And I came back to this boundless love. It covered me in love. And
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah, they
that's how
are
they're
so
so
special.
important. They are really there for us. Sabina, before we lose you all together, your screen's gone crazy.
Sorry.
So thank you so much this evening. It's been really delightful and connecting us to the world of our lovely pets and animals. Thank you so much, Sabina. And if you do want, and thank you so much everybody for taking part this evening.
Thank you.
If you do need have troubles with your pet, or you want to have some concerns and want to take this to the next step with Sabina, please do get in touch. And she offers the sway test. It's free even, so you can learn how to know what your animal wants. And if you need her help, book a free consultation and have a chat and take things to the next level. Thank you so much, everybody, and wonderful, Sabina. Thank you for joining us this
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
wonderful evening. Bye for now.
Bye.